just sat down to do the check-in, and I wanted to come on really quickly and add something on to the front before I even start this video and let you know that I am fully aware that NARS Cosmetics is not cruelty-free anymore. I have no idea why they switched from being cruelty-free to not being cruelty-free, but I do know that it has sparked a lot of controversy, and I've seen some really hateful comments on videos of people that use NARS products, and that is not why I'm making this video. I am here on this channel to have fun, talk about makeup, and review products for y'all, and that's what I'm doing with this foundation. So if you have huge issues with it, I'm not here to like argue that, and so I just wanted to kind of put that on as a disclaimer. So let's get on to the actual video. And I do want to actually put in here that I forgot to mention some of the claims in the demo part of the video, so I'm gonna put that at the very beginning of the check-ins. I'm all over the place in this video, I don't know why. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back again today with another foundation review. I have a few of these coming up. I'm gonna try to put maybe a week in between them. But this time and today we are talking about the brand new NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. So it comes in a package like this. The box I've already thrown away, but it is the standard typical NARS black packaging. So it does have a pump with it, and it is a glass package. It comes in I already covered it up, but it's a standard, I'm pretty sure it's a standard 1 ounce. It is $49 retail, and it comes in 33 shades. I do think that their range is fairly good in this. They do have a dark, super dark Mally is the darkest. And then, let's see, what's the lightest? Oslo, which looks pretty light and pretty pink. So I do think that they kind of span the range of not only skin tones, but undertones as well. I got the color Santa Fe, which on the website is described as medium to medium with peachy undertones. I'm glad I didn't get darker than this. I was going to, but right now this is pretty much a perfect match for me. I also have Santa Fe in the All Day Weightless Luminous Foundation in the Sheer Glow, which I adore. I also adore the All Day Weightless Luminous. The Sheer Glow I carry in my kit. I don't have Santa Fe in that, but I mix 2 other colors to kind of get a similar shade. So this claims to be for all skin types. I got mine off the NARS Cosmetics website because I bought it when it first launched. It just became available a few days ago, I think, on the Sephora website. But basically the claims are in the title. It does claim to be a 16-hour wear foundation that stays turned on by the power of radiance. Untraceable, unstoppable, unlike anything else. Longwear is finally lightweight and radiant. High coverage is now supernatural. Its breathable, fade-resistant formula is infused with raspberry, apple, and watermelon extracts to help smooth and improve the look of your skin instantly. Again, always check labels, okay? Because if you are allergic to any of those extracts that I just said, which aren't normal extracts in skincare and cosmetics, I don't feel like watermelon extract or raspberry extract, be aware that they are in there and check your labels. So that's the basis. It's saying it's radiant. You'll see in the demo, and you can make your own decision as to whether or not you think it's actually radiant. It says it's 16-hour wear. It says it's lightweight. It says a lot of things. So we're going to do a demo really quick on my skin, and then I'll come back with a couple thoughts, and then I'll come back at the very end of the day with a final check-in as usual. So if you are interested in this foundation, then be sure and keep watching. Okay, so let's get started. I just filmed, like I almost started putting on the foundation before I realized I wasn't filming. So I went ahead and color corrected, but I've decided that I'm not going to prime today. I just want to see how it works without a primer because I have used so many different primers with it. So I'm just gonna skip the primer step today. What I have found with this foundation, the first time I applied it, I put it on my hand and I used way too much. The pumps come out very small amount, but I think I did like 4 pumps. 4 to maybe even 5 pumps because they come out in such a small amount. And now I know why they come out in such a small amount, because a very small amount covers a very large portion of your face. And it was just excessive, the amount. So what I have found that works best for me is to take the pump and pump it directly onto my face. So I'll take 1 pump over this side of my face. So just like that. 1 pump over this side, and then like half a pump on my forehead. So I've used different application techniques as well. Today I'm just going to use this number 2 buffing brush from BH Cosmetics and just start buffing it into the skin. So again, I'm in the color Santa Fe, which is also the color that I am in the All Day Weightless Luminous. And just because it's a little streaky on my forehead, I'm just going to go and kind of press it in with the sponge. So what's interesting, I know I look like a ghost right now. What's interesting is that I feel like it looks more matte without using a primer than when I did use primers, even if I used a mattifying primer. Let me zoom you in. It's so bright behind me with the lights, I can't really tell what you're seeing in the monitor except for when I look in the mirror. So, I mean, my pores are, I don't have super large pores anyways, but it's down here that I feel like I can see it sitting on my skin a little bit more. I feel like if I'm going to see a makeup sit on my skin, it's going to be down here on my jaw and chin area. Forehead looks okay, despite the fact that my Botox is due in like 2 weeks. So we're starting to get a little wrinkly up there. But other than that, it covered up. That is all I needed. Like, it covered up my redness well enough. I can still, if I really look, I can still see it here. But if I put more, it would just be way too much. So I haven't decided what kind of powder I'm going to use today, but it will be one different than I've used in the past. So I'm going to finish up my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've finished my makeup and I used today the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. So today, I feel like I need a primer with this foundation. Let me zoom in. The thing. Today, especially, I haven't noticed it every day, but today it is accentuating the hair on my face. I do not like that. Now, yes, I shave my face, but this stuff grows so fast. I don't know if it's hormone. It's got to be hormones. But whenever, you know, whenever I put a foundation on and the hair is much more noticeable after I put the foundation on versus before, obviously that's not my favorite. I haven't noticed that on other days, but today for some reason I am. Other than that, it's sitting fine. My bronzer and stuff, for some reason on the other days, it sat, like everything blended out really well. In fact, I believe I even put that on my notes, but for some reason I feel like today it's a little bit patchy. So this might not be the best day out of all the ones that I've had, but it still gives you an idea of what the foundation looks like. It's not accentuating my pores. And other than, I feel like right here is the worst part, which I doubt that's going to come across. Other than that, I don't really feel like it's very obvious as far as makeup on my face. So let's get in really quick to what I used and my notes. I'm starting 2018 off with a new notebook. I just have to show you this because my girls got me this as part of my birthday present because they know how much I love notebooks. And it says, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Eleanor Roosevelt. I just love that. So anyways, this is my foundation notes notebook for 2018. I'll probably go through it before the end of the year. Okay, so the first day I used, I'm not going to pull and show all the products, but I am going to show this one because it's new. I used this Derma E Radiant Glow Face Oil underneath my primer on this day, so keep that in mind. I used my Becca Blurring Primer, the Velvet Blurring Primer, and my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Complexion Brush. This is the day where I pumped like 5 pumps out onto my palm or hand and then went in. Don't use that much. It's way too much. I didn't even finish using what I had on my hand and it was still way too much. So I have that it's super full coverage. I pumped out too much. I said it's a pretty finish, but it looks like makeup. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I just used way too much of it. It's a very concentrated foundation. Sorry, I'm going to be sniffing. After 9 hours, I got a touch radiant. Otherwise, it stayed put wonderfully. Pores look good. Worked better for me as the day went on. So I think because my radiance started coming through and maybe even some of this oil that I have put on, it helped kind of decrease the look of makeup on my skin. And so it did look better that day as the day went on. Day 2, I used my Note Press Powder that I spoke about in my December favorites. My Ren Perfect Canvas primer that I used in my last video about testing new makeup. And then the same brush that I used today, this BH Cosmetics Kabuki brush. For some reason, the brush worked better on that day than it did today. It was a little streaky today, but I did note how much I love the brush with it. And on this day, I started pumping it out on the skin like I did in this video versus pumping it on my hand, and it worked a lot better. I didn't have to use my hourglass to buff out on that day. I felt like everything blended out very smoothly on top of it. And maybe it was the powder in combination with the primer and the foundation. I don't know, but I was very pleased with the finished look, and I didn't feel like I had to buff anything out because everything was very well blended. And on this day, I did use a cream bronzer. I think I used my Armani Liquid Summer Drops, and I did note that they worked really well over it and nothing was picked up. I got very shiny on this day around 3 p.m., which was 6 hours after I applied it. So the first day I lasted about 9 hours. This day I lasted 6 hours before I got really shiny, and I did touch up with my Charlotte Tilbury powder on that day, just in the shiniest parts. And I'm not oily, so keep that in mind. Day 3 was hands down the very best day, and I have to attribute it probably to the powder that I used, because the primer is not my absolute favorite. It's fine, but I used the Algenist Pore Correcting Primer and the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydroblur Primer powder. I don't know what it's called, but the hyaluronic one with the blue top. I haven't used that in a while, and I picked it back up, and it's just working so brilliantly with all of the foundations. And I did use a sponge this day as well. So keep in mind that I think another reason it looked so fabulous is because I did use a sponge instead of anything else. So it did sheer it out a little bit more. It wasn't as full coverage as when you use the brush, but with how concentrated it is anyway, I didn't feel like I was sacrificing enough coverage to matter, if that makes sense. I had this on for 14 hours that day, and I did say it looked flawless all day long. No touch-ups, no changes, no sinking into pores or fine lines, and that this is my favorite combo. So I think what I found out while testing this is that A, you need very little product. B, you probably are going to find the best effect with a sponge. And C, I do actually kind of think, now I'm going to see how it wears throughout the day, that this is a foundation that does look better and work better with a primer. I can't say that for all foundations, and quite honestly, I mean, we lived in a makeup world for many, many years before primer was even a thing, so it shouldn't be a necessity for any foundation. I just feel like it works better with a primer underneath it. So I'm going to go on throughout my day and give you my final thoughts after the day is finished. I am working out this afternoon. Again, it is a little bit later, but I'll at least get a good 9 hours in before I come back and check in. Okay, guys, I am back. It has been 9 hours. I've had this on, well, probably like 9.5 that I've had this on for a good solid 9.5 hours. Couple of the claims that I forgot to mention in the very beginning or while I was doing the demo, because I just feel like I haven't done a foundation review in a while, which is not true, but I just kind of feel like I'm out of it today. So, but I feel like these are important enough that I need to actually touch on them. The finish is natural and radiant, and the skin type is normal, combo, and oily skin types. And then the formula facts are transfer resistant, sweat resistant, fade resistant, non-drying, paraben-free, alcohol-free, oil-free, fragrance-free, dermatologist tested, and non-comedogenic. Okay, so that's pretty important because I always talk about whether or not a foundation has alcohol or a fragrance in it, because those are the two main things that people are either against or have sensitivities to. So this foundation has neither one of those, nor does it have parabens or oil. And they do claim that it is for normal to oily to combo skin types. So here's what I think. As the day went on, and I always sit down without a mirror, so not sure exactly what it looks like on camera. I just put my girls to sleep after falling asleep on the couch watching Trolls. So I don't know what's still on and what's not. I did go to the gym as well, so we're just gonna work with what we got. Here's my final thoughts on the foundation. I think that this is a foundation, for me personally, that I like the longer I wear it. When I first put it on, just like today, I felt like it was makeup-y, except the day where I did the Algenist primer and the By Terry powder. Every other day I've worn this, I felt like when I first put it on, it was a little too much. I felt like it was cakey and a little too makeup-y, and as the day went on, it looked a lot better. I do think it has a more natural finish when you first put it on, and as the day goes on is when you start getting the radiant finish. Because of that, I just don't know. Okay, here it's like a catch-22. Because of the fact that I feel like it does get kind of cakey, I do not think it would look good on dry skin types. But because of that, you would think, okay, maybe it's a little bit more for the oily skin types, because as the day goes on, your natural oils kind of combine with the product and make it look better, or at least the way it's supposed to, you would think. But I kind of feel like it will get too oily as the day goes on, or too radiant. And then if you really do have a lot of oils breaking it down, it's not going to last you 16 hours. So I don't know. I feel like if you have normal combo skin, it's probably the skin that's going to work the best for. I do have normal skin, and right now I don't have any dry patches or anything. It's pretty normal. It doesn't even really feel tight. Weird considering it's like literally 15 degrees outside during the day. So really, I personally feel like the only people that I could completely recommend this to is normal to combo skin. If you have super oily skin, maybe if you use the right primer, it's going to work. If you have super dry skin, I don't think you're going to like this foundation. If you are someone who likes something that absolutely does not look like makeup on the skin and looks like skin, or that you can see a lot of your skin through, this is probably not going to be for you. I'm zooming you way in here because I want to show you that I do feel like it's kind of worn off throughout the day as well, because I can see my redness right here. You know how my redness comes straight down my face? I can see it more now than I did before, and I still see a lot of makeup right there. I don't know why. As far as sinking, I mean, I've not touched up any kind of smile line, so this is the worst that it's gotten today, which I could totally live with. I'm not sad about that. I have mascara under my eyes. I feel like it looks kind of makeup-y on my nose. But the forehead, I'm acting like y'all can see the forehead. The forehead is held up pretty well. All in all, I don't dislike this foundation. It's not going to, I don't really see it ever making my top 5, but it's not one that I even want to return either. So it's kind of like a nice middle of the road foundation. But I understand that some people are not wanting middle of the road. I mean, especially for $50 or $49, that they're wanting something that's either going to wow them. Yeah, they're probably just wanting something that's going to wow them. This might wow some people because some people have given it absolutely amazing reviews. I've seen it in people's favorites. And then some people have just bashed it, absolutely hating it. So it's one that you're going to want to get a sample of. I guess is my final verdict on this. It's not one that I'm going to be like, stop what you're doing and go get this foundation. No, I don't think that at all. I think you need to get a sample of it if you're interested and try it for yourself, because I don't feel comfortable putting my 150% stamp of approval behind it without you trying it beforehand. So hopefully this helped you some way or the other. I do appreciate the fact that it's alcohol-free and fragrance-free, and I appreciate the radiance that it does provide. And again, I don't dislike it. It's just not gonna make my top 5. So I feel like it's one of those ones that's a little bit finicky with products. So hopefully this helped you somehow, some way. I have already started on my next foundation review. I am testing out that one as we speak, and it should be up week after next, I believe. So be sure and be subscribed so you don't miss out on that or any of the other videos that I put up. I hope you all enjoyed watching and have a very blessed day.